Welcome to my channel MS Old Coins episode, where we dive deep into the hidden treasures that might be hiding in plain sight. You know, it's funny how we often rush through life, not realizing that incredible stories and life-changing opportunities can be found in the most mundane places. First up, let's set the scene and travel back in time to the year 1973. This was an era of glam rock, striking miners, and the UK embracing its new decimal currency. Among the millions of coins clinking in tills and jingling in pockets was a seemingly unremarkable piece, the UK 1973 10 newpence coin. It features the iconic young portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin, on one side, and a magnificent crowned lion, part of the English crest, designed by Christopher Ironside, on the other. On the surface, it looked like any other coin, a workhorse of the British economy, with a whopping 152 million of them struck at the Royal Mint in Lantricent that year. But here is where the story takes an incredible turn. For 99.9% of the people, that 1973 10p coin in their collection is just that, a piece of spent currency. It was demonetized in 1993, meaning you can't spend it in the shops anymore, and its collector value is typically just a little over its face value, maybe $1 or so. It's a nice piece of nostalgia, a memory of a bygone era. However, and this is a massive however, there exists a tiny, almost mythical fraction of these coins that are not ordinary at all. They are the stuff of numismatic legend, a glitch in the matrix of the Royal Mint's production line. You see, this coin we are discussing, this specific 1973 10p, has a secret twin, an error coin so rare that it recently sent shockwaves through the collecting world. While standard 10p coins of this era were made from cupronickel, a silver-colored metal, a handful were accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank, or planchet. Instead of the correct silver-colored alloy, these error coins were stamped onto bronze planchets that were intended for a different denomination entirely, giving them a distinct, warm, bronze-brown hue, much like a penny. Think about the sheer improbability of this happening. In a high-security, highly automated mint producing millions of coins, the stars aligned, or perhaps misaligned, and a few bronze blanks meant for, say, a 2p coin, ended up in the press for 10p coins. The dies, with the Queen's portrait and the lion design, slammed down with immense force, and just like that, a mutant coin was born. This is the kind of mint error that collectors spend their entire lives dreaming of finding. And why is this error so incredibly valuable? It's the perfect storm of rarity and provenance. We know it's real because the Royal Mint itself confirmed it. The original owner of one of these coins was so puzzled by its odd color back in the 1970s that they actually wrote to the Royal Mint to ask about it. In a remarkable twist of fate, the Mint wrote back on December 10, 1974, with a letter of authentication, explaining that the coin was produced at the Royal Mint but was struck, inadvertently, on a bronze coin blank intended for another denomination. This wasn't just some collector's hunch. This was an official government mint admitting to a fascinating mistake. That original letter, preserved alongside the coin for over 50 years, acts as its birth certificate and its passport to immense value. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of Royal Mint history, complete with a documented confession. This provenance elevates it from a simple oddity to a museum-quality piece. Now, let's get to the question you've all been waiting for. How much is it really worth? Is it valuable? The answer is a resounding, spine-tingling yes. We aren't talking about pocket change here. We are talking about a life-changing find from your old piggy bank. In a recent auction held by RWB Auctions in Wiltshire, one of these extraordinary 1973 bronze error 10p coins, complete with its original Royal Mint letter, went under the hammer. The bidding was fierce, as collectors recognized the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own such a piece. The final gavel price? A staggering $480. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin that was once worth 10 new pence, a coin that could have been spent on a piece of candy 50 years ago, just sold for nearly $500. That is thousands of times its original face value, a return on investment that would make any stock market trader weep with envy. The maximum value we can realistically place on this coin today, based on this recent public sale, is that impressive $480 figure. It achieved this price because it was graded as a genuine error, had its original documentation, and was in a condition that collectors desired. It stands as the benchmark, the gold standard price for this specific error coin, proving that when rarity and history collide, the value can be explosive. So what is the motivation here? Why should you care? Because this isn't just a story about a coin that sold for $480. It's a story about possibility. That 1973 10p in your collection, the one that looks a bit more copper than silver, the one you might have dismissed as worthless because it's old and discolored, could be your ticket to an incredible payday. The difference between a common 10p and this $480 rarity is simply the color and a few grams of weight. This is a call to action. I want you to pause this video right now and go check any old 1973 10p coins you might have. Look at them under a bright light. Does it have a bronze or coppery appearance instead of a silvery one? Does it look like it belongs with the 2p coins in your pile? If so, you need to handle it with care. Don't clean it, don't spend it. This is your potential treasure. The numismatic market is booming, and error coins from the Royal Mint are some of the most sought-after items in the world. Collectors are hungry for these mistakes, these beautiful anomalies that slipped through the cracks. The coin we discussed today is proof that the market is willing to pay top dollar for genuine rarities. RWB auctions, the experts who sold this coin, are just one example of a community ready to pay a premium for your lucky find. This is the thrill of the hunt, the excitement that keeps coin collectors searching through rolls of coins and attending auctions. It's the belief that the next incredible discovery is always just around the corner. Your junk drawer, your childhood piggy bank, that old jar of coins your grandfather left you, could be hiding a small fortune. It's not just about the money. Although $480 is a fantastic amount of cash, it's about being the one who noticed, the one who knew what to look for. The story of this 1973 10p coin is a powerful reminder that value is often hidden in plain sight. We've learned about its normal history, the 152 million common coins that are worth very little. But we've also uncovered the secret history, the incredible error that created a $480 masterpiece. This duality is what makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating. One coin, two completely different stories, two completely different values. So, as we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with this thought. Become an observer of the world around you. Pay attention to the details. That slightly off-color coin, that stamp with a funny-looking airplane, that old painting at a garage sale. They all have a story, and sometimes, that story has a value beyond your wildest dreams. The maximum value we've seen for this coin is $480, but who knows? The next one, maybe the one you find, could be worth even more if two passionate collectors decide they must have it. Don't just take my word for it. Do your own research. Look at the sold listings, compare your coins to the images of the error coin. The Royal Mint itself has even acknowledged the rarity of certain coins, fueling the fire for collectors everywhere. This is your invitation to join a community of treasure hunters, people who see the potential in the overlooked. The maximum prize is out there, waiting to be claimed. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about what your spare change might be worth, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with your friends and family. Maybe you'll be the one to help them discover a hidden fortune. And whatever you do, keep your eyes peeled and keep searching. Your $480 moment, or perhaps an even bigger one, could be just a coin flip away. Next, the coin we are looking at today is the UK 1975 10 newpence piece, featuring the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by the renowned artist Arnold Machin. On the reverse, we see the iconic crowned lion, a symbol of English heritage, designed by Christopher Ironside, with the words newpence arcing above the numeral 10. This coin is a piece of living history from a transformative decade, a time when Britain was navigating economic challenges and cultural shifts, and its very existence in your hand is a tangible link to that era. This particular year in numismatics holds a special allure that many collectors are just beginning to appreciate. The Royal Mint in Lantrison struck a staggering number of these coins for circulation, approximately 181.6 million of them, making the standard version you might find in a jar extremely common and, on its own, not worth more than its face value of 10 pence. or about 12 cents. But we are not here to talk about the ordinary. We are here to uncover the extraordinary potential that lies within this specific date. The true value of the 1975 10p coin lies not in the millions of worn pieces that once filled cash registers, but in the much rarer versions that were handled with care from the very beginning. Alongside the colossal circulation strike, the Royal Mint also produced a limited number of these coins to an impeccable proof standard. These proof coins were struck not for spending, but for collectors, presented in beautiful annual sets with a mirror-like finish and sharp, intricate details that make the design truly pop. We are talking about a mintage of only around 100,000 proof versions of the 1975 10p coin. 100,000 might still sound like a lot, but in the world of collecting, where coins can vanish into private collections for decades, it represents a finite and increasingly sought-after pool. To put it in perspective, that is a tiny fraction compared to the hundreds of millions made for everyday use. This inherent scarcity is the very foundation upon which future value is built. This proof coin, sealed in its original packaging from 1975, is a time capsule. It represents the pinnacle of the minter's art from that year. Collectors today are not just buying a piece of metal. They are buying a pristine, untouched example of 1970s craftsmanship. As time marches on, these sets become harder to find in perfect condition. Original packaging gets lost, damaged, or thrown away, and the number of truly flawless specimens dwindles, driving the laws of supply and demand. The current market for a standard 1975 10p coin that you might find in your change is minimal. It's a piece of history, certainly, but its financial value is very low, typically just $1 or so, if you can find a buyer for a demonetized coin. But we must look beyond the common and focus on the collectible. The value we are interested in, the maximum potential, is tied directly to the condition and the version of the coin you possess. So, what is a coin like this worth right now, at this very moment, at its maximum potential? For a 1975 proof 10p coin, still in its original, untouched condition from the Royal Mint set, the value can climb significantly. While individual proof coins are often sold as part of the complete set, a flawless, graded example could realistically be valued at anywhere from $15 to $40 today. This is a remarkable leap from its original face value of just 10 pence, and it's only the beginning. But the question that should excite every collector and every person with a box of old coins is, can it be valuable in the future? The answer is a resounding yes, and the potential is far greater than where it sits today. The trend for high-quality, original examples of 20th century British coinage is undeniably upward. A new generation of collectors is discovering the charm of the decimal era, and they are willing to pay a premium for the best-preserved pieces. The maximum value we project for this coin is not a fixed number, but a trajectory. As the decades pass and these proof coins become even rarer in top grades, the prices will follow suit. We are not just looking at a coin that might be worth $40 today. We are looking at a coin that, in another 10 or 20 years, could comfortably be worth $100 or more. It is a sleeping giant in the world of numismatics. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that has the potential to double, triple, or even quadruple in value over time. That is the reality for the 1975 proof 10p. It is an accessible piece of history that offers a genuine investment opportunity. It doesn't require the fortune of a gold sovereign or the extreme rarity of a medieval hammered coin. It simply requires foresight and an appreciation for quality. This coin's history is rooted in a period of transition. Decimalization had only happened a few years prior, in 1971, and the British public was still getting used to the new system. The 1975 coin, with the word new still prominently displayed on its reverse, is a relic of that adjustment period, a physical reminder of when Britain firmly stepped into a modern monetary age. This historical context adds a layer of depth that savvy collectors always appreciate. The design itself is timeless. Arnold Mackin's portrait of the Queen is arguably one of the most iconic and enduring images of her reign, used on British coinage and postage stamps for decades. Coupled with Ironside's powerful lion, the coin has an aesthetic appeal that transcends its modest denomination. People want to own beautiful objects, and this coin, especially in its proof form, is undeniably beautiful. Your motivation to look for this coin should be immense. You are not just searching for pocket change. You are searching for a piece of the past with a financially bright future. The maximum value you can achieve from a 1975 10p coin is not locked away in a museum. It could be sitting in an old collection, a forgotten drawer, or a box of keepsakes passed down through your family. The hunt is part of the thrill. Knowing that a common date like 1975 holds this secret, high-value twin in the form of the proof version is the kind of knowledge that turns ordinary people into treasure hunters. Every time you encounter an old coin collection, you now have the power to spot the difference between a circulation coin worth a few cents and a collectible gem with a potential value of $100 or more. We are at a fascinating point in the numismatic market where 20th century coins are gaining the recognition they deserve. The collectors who bought proof sets in the 1970s paid a small premium over face value. Today, those sets are worth many times that original price. By investing in a high-quality 1975 10p today, you are placing yourself in the same position, buying into a market that has proven its capacity for growth. The maximum sale price you could achieve for this coin at this time, for a truly exceptional, top-graded specimen with original packaging and documentation, could realistically approach the $50 to $60 mark in a specialized auction or a sale to a dedicated collector. That is the current ceiling, but as we've discussed, that ceiling is set to rise. It is a solid, respectable value for a single coin from a modern set. In conclusion, the UK 1975 10p coin is a study in contrasts. The common version is a humble piece of spent currency, but its proof counterpart is a miniature work of art with a scarcity that guarantees its future desirability. Its history is rooted in a pivotal moment for British currency, and its design is a masterpiece of modern heraldry. The current maximum value is a pleasant surprise, but the projected maximum value in the years to come is the real story. This is a coin to watch, to seek out, and to hold on to. Your treasure could be waiting to be discovered, and its value is only just beginning its journey upward. Second coin, the 1976 10 newpence coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II. If you have one of these sitting in an old jar or a childhood money box, you might want to pause before you spend it. This seemingly ordinary piece of change is one of the most talked about coins in British numismatic history, and today we are going to find out exactly why. We are diving deep into its story, its worth, and the hidden fortune that might be lurking in your pocket. First, let's paint a picture of Britain in 1976. This was a time of dramatic change, just a few years after the monumental switch to decimal currency in 1971. The country was modernizing, and the money in people's pockets looked completely different from the old shillings and florins their parents had used. It was the year of a scorching hot summer, the launch of the iconic Concorde, and the year these 10-pence pieces started pouring out of the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales. Now, why was this coin even built? Its creation was purely functional, a workhorse for a new economy. The 10 newpence coin was introduced to replace the old florin or 2-shilling piece, giving it the exact same size and value to ensure a smooth transition to the decimal system. It was designed to be durable, made from a sturdy mix of copper and nickel, and it was hefty. You could feel the weight of it, a solid 11.31 grams of metallic history. The look of the coin is timeless British design. On one side, you have the young Queen Elizabeth II, portrayed by the master sculptor Arnold Machin. This is the iconic portrait that would go on to feature on British coinage for decades, the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, looking elegant and regal. On the other side, you have the work of Christopher Ironside, a heraldic masterpiece featuring a crowned lion, part of the royal coat of arms, standing proudly on a crown. It is a symbol of strength and sovereignty that feels incredibly powerful. But here is where the story takes its first twist. When we talk about the value of a coin, the very first thing we have to look at is how many were made. And the numbers here are simply staggering. In 1976, the Royal Mint didn't just make a few of these. They unleashed an absolute torrent of them into the UK economy. We are talking about a colossal mintage of 228,220,000 pieces for general circulation. Yes, you heard that right. Over 228 million of these coins were struck and spent across the United Kingdom. That number alone usually sends a shiver down the spine of a coin collector because it often means a coin is far too common to be worth a fortune. If you walked into a bank in 1976 and asked for change, you were almost guaranteed to be handed a handful of these. They were everywhere. So, with that many coins out there, is it just worthless pocket change? If you were to find a standard, worn-out 1976 10-pence piece that has been rattling around in a till for 40 years, the honest market value is very low. Most catalogs and online price guides will tell you that a well-worn coin is worth face value, or maybe just 32 cents to a collector looking to fill a hole in a folder. But hold on, don't dismiss it yet. The secret to the 1976 10p's potential fortune lies not in the 228 million coins that were spent on suites and bus fares, but in a tiny, elite group of its siblings. You see, alongside those millions of circulation coins, the Royal Mint produced something far more special, the proof coins. And this is where the value skyrockets. In 1976, the Royal Mint assembled a limited number of special annual proof sets. These were not meant for spending. They were meant for collecting. Each coin was struck not once, but multiple times on specially polished dies and polished metal blanks, creating a mirror-like finish with frosted details that is absolutely breathtaking. These coins are flawless works of art, and the Mint only made 100,000 of the 10p coins in this proof quality. 100,000 sounds like a lot, but compared to 228 million, it is incredibly scarce. And over the last 50 years, many of these proof sets have been opened, broken up, or the coins have been handled and damaged, making the ones that have survived in perfect, original condition even harder to find. This is the coin you want to look for. So what is the current value of a 1976 10 newpence coin? The answer is a classic tale of two extremes. If you have the standard coin that has been in circulation, its value really is low, usually just a few dollars at most if it's in nice condition. A collector might pay you a couple of dollars for a particularly clean example. But if you have the proof version, if you have that immaculate, mirror-like coin that was carefully stored in a display case since 1976, its value is much, much higher. We are not talking about pocket change anymore. A perfect, graded proof 1976 10p can command serious respect from collectors. Depending on its condition and the market, these proof coins can be worth anywhere from $15 to well over $50. And for the absolute best of the best, a perfect proof or a ultra cameo example with deep mirrors and frosty cameo contrast, graded by a professional service, the maximum price can climb even higher. We have seen exceptional examples sell for between $75 and $100 at specialist auctions, especially if they are still in the original Royal Mint packaging with the full set of 1976 coins. Think about that. A coin that was originally worth 10 pennies could now be worth nearly $100. How many people want to buy it? The market for these is surprisingly vast. It's not just serious coin collectors or numismatists who are after it. You have history buffs who want a piece of 1970s Britain. You have people collecting coins from the year they were born, making this a hugely popular gift for everyone turning 50 in 2026. You have investors looking for tangible assets, and you have people in America, Canada, and all over the world who are fascinated by British royalty and want to own a piece of Queen Elizabeth II heritage. The history of this coin is also deeply tied to the Queen herself. Elizabeth II oversaw the greatest change to British currency in a millennium, decimalization. The 1976 10p represents the middle of her reign, a time of stability and tradition meeting the modern world. Every time you look at that coin, you are looking at a portrait of a monarch who would go on to become the longest reigning in British history, a direct link to a woman who dedicated her life to service. Therefore, your mission is clear. Do not just throw that old coin in a vending machine. You have to check your drawers, your attics, and your old collections. Look closely at the 1976 10-pence coins you find. Does it look unusually shiny? Does it have a crisp, sharp design with no nicks or scratches? Does it look like it has never been touched by human hands? If so, you might just have a proof coin. Even the standard coins, if they are in exceptionally good condition, known in the trade as uncirculated, can be worth a nice premium. A sharp 1976 10p that was tucked away in a savings book could easily be worth $5 or $10 to the right buyer. So, the real value lies in the condition and the type. In the world of coin collecting, the thrill is in the hunt. It is about knowing that millions of these coins are just common change, but a select few are hidden treasures. The 1976 10 new pence is the perfect example of this. It teaches us that value isn't always about age. It's about rarity, condition, and story. It is a coin that connects us to the summer of '76, to the dawn of a new decimal age, and to the enduring legacy of a queen. So, go on an adventure in your own home. Grab that old coin jar, spread the coins out, and look for the 1976 date. You are now an expert, armed with the knowledge to spot a potential gem. Could you be sitting on a $100 payday from a simple 10-pence piece? It is absolutely possible. The treasure is out there. Now go and find yours.